You're listening to the British Baseball Podcast. Afternoon, baseball family. Welcome to another dollop of British baseball in this week's British Baseball Podcast. Today, I'm really chuffed to have as my guest Matthew Moran, the second baseman for Team GB at some of the lower levels and also the Legends. But before I get to pick his brains on his baseball journey, I beg each and every one of you to subscribe to the podcast if you can do, and drop us a little review if that's also doable. And if you're watching this on the old YouTubes, why not just click on that little subscribe button there too? I'm only a handful of followers away from getting 100. I know it's a fair while away from the million that we've set ourselves the highest target to achieve. But as soon as I hit that 100, I can give the title of the channel a proper name and not the letters and numbers that's randomly gibberish there. So if you're feeling really, really generous, give a little thumbs up on the video too. And let me know what's on your mind in the comment section. I'll do my best to respond to all those as and when I've realised that you've left them. If you want to hit me up with any feedback or contact the show, you know I am britishbaseballpodcast@gmail.com or BritBaseballPod on the old social media. So now it's time to get the kettle on. Leave that tea bag in there for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how strong you like your brew. A dash of milk in there. Crack open the bought too early Foxy's Christmas biscuits, who are not a sponsor, and also enjoy this episode and chinwag with Matt Moran. Matt, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well. Thank you for sitting patiently through that waffle. Welcome into the show. It's been lovely to have you on. I've been chatting to you online and down in the field and stuff, and it's been cracking to get you onto the show. So, do you want to start us off? How did you get into baseball?
Oh, that's a good question. Basically, I just childhood holidays. Just being in the US, watching baseball on ESPN, and Sports Center was a massive thing. Absolutely loved the the top tens they used to put on of the web gems. Just watching like the Little League World Series, things like that, and just eventually I said, I want to play that, and my dad was, very willing to get me into a sport that I was actually good at. So we looked up the nearest baseball team, and it just happened to be the Bolton Bears Bronco team at the time, and started there and haven't stopped since.
Awesome. So which teams have you played for? We've mentioned that the Bolton Bears, who went on to be the Bolton Robots of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
You're currently playing for the Legends team. Anyone else that you'd like to mention?
So I went from Bolton Bears to Bronco team, which is I think it was under 14, to Halton Polecats in Runcorn, which was the under 16 team. Then moved from the back to Bolton to the Robots of Doom, which best name in baseball. And then went from Robots of Doom to the London Mets youth, playing in Prague and going to Nettuno in Italy, Bordeaux, and then obviously playing at Finsbury. Absolutely playing a ton of baseball at that point. And then played a little, I think I played a season for the Mets NBL team. Then after that, I think I did Essex and Hearts in one season. And then the season after went to just play for Hearts. That was a really good season. I really enjoyed that. And then now I'm with the Legends, and it's really good. Awesome baseball with the Legends.
And where do you live?
In Wigan.
Wigan. That's a lot of miles you clocked up there.
Oh, definitely.
A lot of miles. So, who were some of your favourite players then, and was there any in particular that got you really into baseball from a fan point of view?
The player that definitely got me into baseball was David Ortiz. I'm obviously a Red Sox fan. And
for those that are listening at home, he's got some filth up on his walls, which I'll try and blur out if you're watching it, but I make no promises.
Yeah, so David Ortiz was definitely my favorite. Like my favorite player growing up was definitely David Ortiz. Watching him hit absolute tanks in the ALCs in 2013 off the Detroit Tigers, and all that sort of stuff growing up was absolutely awesome. Yeah. Favorite player now, I'd say, is definitely Michael Chavis. He's not having a great season this season, but just his swing and being able to see him at the London series was awesome.
Yeah, I bet. Any of the British baseball players or people in the British baseball community that you look up to, or anyone that's influenced you along the way?
I'd say people I look up to, like there's always teammates that are, great helps and influence the way you play. Like, I think the best thing is the fact that throughout the years and all the teams I've played for, there's always been somebody who's almost taken me under their wing. It's like, an older guy, a teammate, has just helped me along the way. I'd say Jay Bax at Bolton was awesome. Bolton Robots of Doom. He was great. A player I look up to right now is Ollie Thompson. Easily a good friend of mine who's playing college baseball in the US at the minute. He's just transferred to Hill College. He finds baseball easy. He makes baseball just easy. I'd love to be able to do that, but definitely. Ollie's been a huge influence with the way I look at baseball over the past few years. We met on the under 18s, and it was actually, I think it was his first year playing baseball, and he made it onto the U18 national team. And from there, he's just absolutely skyrocketed. He's been a great teammate to play with in the UK, and obviously he's still, helping me from across the pond, and giving me workouts that they do, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. That's
keeping me going back here whilst, so I'm doing as much as I can from over here.
That's cool. Is Ollie's sort of path the one that you're looking to take yourself? I mean, is college in America on your radar as a goal, or what are your own personal goals and targets?
I mean, it was a goal. I think that's a good question. It was a goal. I think it's not as much a goal now to go to the US still. I mean, it's definitely, I want to still play competitive baseball, whether that be here in the UK or, there's professional leagues across the world, Australia, Germany, the Netherlands, I'd play baseball anywhere. It's, I want to keep playing GB baseball. That's my main goal.
Yeah.
For the time being is, get onto the U23 team next year and go to the championships. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Let's ask you as well. Any of your other family members interested in baseball?
I'd say yeah. So my brother plays as well. My brother's the first baseman for the Legends. He's 15. Another person in my life that makes baseball look easy. I think he made it onto the GB under 15s last year. So he is. Yeah, I envy him a little bit for how easy he finds baseball. He's but I think my family's really taken to baseball, or at least they've been forced into taking to baseball over the years. We've been to Boston a few times, and been to see Boston rather quite a few times. Once in Miami, once in Boston. They've sort of. Me and my brother are both lucky enough that we have very supportive family that want to see us do really well, and so obviously with all the driving they have to do to get us to baseball games, it really shows how supportive they are. The 6-hour journeys on a Sunday there and back to Slough, to Farnham Park to play two games of baseball are just. We're always grateful for the fact that they are willing to drive that far for us just to play baseball.
Yeah, that's great. It's always good to have the backing and support of a family, especially when you got the keys to the car.
Yes, definitely. And you don't have a license.
Yeah. Which coaches within your sort of growing career have made the most impact on you as a player and a person, and why?
Um, Obviously, there's been a ton of, with playing on a load of different teams and playing on a few different GB teams, there've been, absolutely ton of coaches. Um, all of them have had an influence in one way or another. Um, Obviously, they've all influenced my baseball, but I'd say a few that took the time, to get to know the players on a human, like, one-to-one basis,
Mm-hmm.
have really, changed me as a person. I'd say, like, the things you learn from coaches at GB, like Will Linton, Liam Carroll, Drew Spencer, and Jonathan Craman, all of them have been like, you learn stuff like, leave places cleaner than you found them. Just have that hustle constantly, and a lot of that you carry over into, your everyday life. Like, like one example I can give is being in the gym at university, and other people are leaving, weights around the gym, and you're the guy who cleans up after everybody because, whilst as you're about to leave, you clean up for everybody because you're the guy who is going to leave it cleaner than you found it, and not, you don't care who's left things. It's your responsibility to leave it cleaner than you found it. Somebody who's especially like influenced my life, I'd say, is Jonathan Craman. I mean, he. So last year, like I'd say one example of a time where he's just taken the time is so last year Dan, my brother, got onto the U15 team, and we took a tour to Germany. I think it was a place called Marl, just outside of Dusseldorf, and it was just a tournament to keep the kids going, between qualifiers and between championships, because last year there was no qualifier championship, European Championship, and so he was the head coach with Brian Leanoff, both awesome guys, and so obviously because I played for the Mets youth and we'd been to Prague together. He was the coach of one of my Prague teams, and so he knew my family quite well, and obviously me and my brother have both been on teams that he's coached. So in the final game, he took the time out to ask me if I brought baseball pants, because I think it was one of the coaches went home early or something, had to be back in the UK, and so I became first base coach for that game.
Oh wow!
And without realizing, he ensured that. So last year, we unfortunately lost my nan to cancer, and so we unfortunately lost her to cancer. But just before we lost her, we were in Germany, and so my nan got to see me and my brother both in GB baseball uniforms on the same field, and that was because of Craman.
Nice one.
Because he took the time to ask the question, "Do you have baseball pants?
Yeah.
And can you be first base coach?" And we have a picture of me, my brother, and my nan, both of us in GB baseball uniforms. I'll treasure that forever.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome.
Brilliant. How did you find the coaching duties that you were given as a first base coach? Were you given any set instructions, or were you pretty much left to your own devices? How was that as an experience?
I'd done coaching before, for like, I think so when I was 15, 16, our Bronco team needed some coaches. So when I was playing for Halton Polecats, and our Bronco team needed a coach because the coach of the Bronco team I think he went to another team. And so me and 2 other players from the older team decided to become coaches of the Bronco team. So we took our coaching courses, and yeah, we got our level 1. So I'd done some coaching before, but there's something different about being able to put on a GB uniform at any stage. And, it was an awesome feeling to be a coach, for GB for a little, even if it was just for 7 innings, it was an awesome feeling. And there wasn't any set instructions. I think it was very much. I feel like first base coach from the 15s team is to just encourage the players as much as possible.
Yeah.
And just let them know, like, that team, I'd say, was one of the best youth teams I've seen. And I realized that all my job was just to say, just to keep them high spirited and just keep them going. Because they there was nothing I could tell them, because they were just absolutely playing their hearts out.
Yeah.
And I was first base coach of the final game, and they'd absolutely trounced every other team they played against. So they didn't need me to tell them anything in the final. I just let them play.
Yeah. Lovely. What are your earliest memories around GB? Do you remember what your call-up was like from an early age, or how is it that you got selected? Can you talk us through that process?
Yeah, the first time I played, well, the first time actually, I tried out at 13. I actually do have a memory of trying out at 13 that was, so what they used to do at GB tryouts was they would have something called the 300-yard dash. No, so now they do the 60-yard dash, which is just, run as fast as you can 60 yards.
Yeah.
Then it was 300 yards, so it would be a 50-yard sprint, touch the line, run back with another 50 yards, and then do that 3 times. And oh my God, I was 13 at the time, pretty unfit, and vomited straight after it at the tryout. Weirdly enough, I've done that since. I vomited at a tryout, but my best early memory from playing for GB was so the first tour I went on, it was under 16s to where you went to Florida and played at we played at the Houston Astros spring training facility. Absolutely brilliant. I think, God, I only think I was 14 on an under 16 team, and I think I only played about 4 or 5 innings out of 4 games. I couldn't have cared less. The fact that we were at a Major League Baseball facility playing against, I think one of them was a USA team. One was Puerto Rico, and it was just awesome to be on the same field as guys like that and compete against them. I think our best game was a 3-0 loss to Puerto Rico, which I think we all celebrated because it was just like we kept them to 3 runs.
Yeah.
We were just excited that we were playing guys that were awesome at baseball.
You feel that raised your own game playing against the...
Definitely. I think playing good competition brings your game up whether you like it or not. You have to raise your game the same way having good players on your team raises your game, because you have to raise your game to stay in the team. It pushes you to be better, which is a good feeling.
Yeah. Just a little side note, move on to the next question. How important is baseball in your life?
I'd say it's easily one of the most important things. I'd say, my girlfriend would say it's my number one love. With the amount of time I spend playing baseball. Obviously, she's joking, but the amount of time I spend playing baseball it's every day, and it's extremely important. It's obviously become a huge thing for the family, and I'd say it's what's made me into the adult that I am. Well, yeah, I'm 21, not really an adult yet, but the
Getting
person,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it, but yeah,
We
yeah,
got a better facial hair than I did when I was 21. It's taken 40 years to get this on the go.
nice.
Yeah, there's one
Yes,
thing that's been mentioned on the show quite a lot, is the support of the girlfriends, fiancés, and wives of the British baseball community.
yeah,
They're a fantastic bunch, unsung heroes. So
definitely.
if I had a hat on, I'd be tipping it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it then that drives you and motivates you as a young athlete?
I'd say it's definitely changed since I started playing baseball. It definitely changed. Like as a really young player, like a kid joining the game, it was just find something new, you know, and just play baseball. It was I just love playing baseball. I still love playing baseball, but now I play. I do my training in the week. I train every day for the guy next to me on a Sunday. On a Saturday and Sunday, I train for my teammates. I think something I think it was Will Linton said to me once was in one of the classroom sessions at the HPA, we were talking about what once you finish baseball, what will people say about you as a person? And that has motivated me every single time I've stepped on a baseball field.
Yeah.
Since then, it's what will the guy next to me think of me? Will they think I'm a good teammate? Will they think I'm the guy who hustled for the team? Am I the guy who was thinking, oh, I got to get on base so the next guy can have an at bat as well? That's what motivates me when I'm on a baseball field. It's what can I do for the guy next to me to help him and myself get better at baseball.
Yeah. What would your teammates say about you then? How would they describe you as a player?
I'd hope they would say, I'm the guy who just wants to help the team any way possible. Like even when I'm not in the game, I'm the guy who's third base coaching, or the one with 3 baseballs waiting for the first baseman and the center fielder to come back in. I'm the guy warming up the left fielder, or I'm the guy who will make the plays in the crucial situations, and get the hits when I need to, just to help the team.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm the person who's constantly hustling and keeping everybody awake and alive, making sure that just that I'm being a good teammate, basically.
That's awesome. So you're now part of the legend setup. Your season has come to a close now with the open tournament bracket for the NBL coming to an end. How would you summarize your time with this new team?
Absolutely insane. Like I've never had a better season when it's been 1-11. We went 1 win, 11 losses, and it feels like we went 12-0 because every person on that team has, got exponentially better at baseball. Just a huge improvement from every player. Like the atmosphere J-Rod has created on that team has, every player gelled with each other. I think we have to credit the players. You have to credit the players for how well they've just sort of taken to each other and just encouraged each other in a way that I've never seen before on a baseball field, on any team that I've been on. They just are a credit to themselves. Seriously, like I think I got one hit this season, and because I was working on a few things with my swing, and it's just like the amount of encouragement. And I mean, I think I'm the second, third oldest player on the team, and the younger guys are so encouraging. Like they fire you up so much for the fact that they do not care what you do as long as you are playing as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And they're definitely a credit to all the clubs they've come from. I think it's Brighton, Bournemouth. There's one from Liverpool.
Edinburgh and Aberdeen as well.
Yeah, Ren and Connor from Scotland. Just absolute credit to all the ball clubs that they've come from. Just the team has been awesome to play on.
Yeah. So what are you going to do yourself in the off season?
It doesn't stop, to be honest with you. I'm hoping to carry on coaching at HPA, helping out coaching at HPA. I know there's a lot of things in the work with the legends that hopefully will come through to fruition in the off season. I just sort of carry on doing what I've been doing this entire season.
Yeah.
Just keep working towards, the U23s and hoping to get back on the team next year. I think that's the end goal. That's the goal I'll be looking forward to in the off season.
Yeah.
That's all I'll be thinking about.
Oh, it's good. Nice to have a target. I'm pretty much just going to try and sleep as much as possible until podcasting time comes on again. But I'm trying to get as much baseball action under my belt as often as possible. Yeah, I think I'm really going to miss it when training comes to an end. I'm not sure what the plans are at the moment in Manchester, but it's been such a great ride. I mean, yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
So I do envy you young whippersnappers with all the time and all the things you got to look forward to in it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to sort of make a fair few memories of my own in this game as well before it's too late. So as we sort of come towards the end of the show, is there anything? I always like to leave the last word open to the guest. So is there any shout outs or anyone you want to give mention to or anything you'd like to add?
I think I'd just give a shout out to all the players on the team this year. Ren, Django, both the Connors, Deacon. Deacon especially. Deacon last week, not the week we played the Mets in the regular season, the regular season.
Yeah.
The last game we played against the Mets, he had a really tough landing on throw to first base and severely sprained his ankle, and still showed up to playoff weekend with a cast on his leg. Playing all the walk-up songs for each player, and just even without being able to play baseball, he still turned up and was there for his guys.
Yeah,
I've got to give him credit for that.
What was your walk-up song?
Oh, mine is "Rainfall" by Stormzy. It's
okay.
The last little few seconds of it.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any clue what to have for my walk-up song.
No.
Every time someone mentions it on Twitter, I keep saying the Back to the Future theme because I'm a Burke and it's the only thing that's in my head.
That's good.
It's awful. No, the Back to the Future themes are an absolute classic. I don't mean that way, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's whatever gets you in the mood to hit. That's all I think. That the song that I chose makes me want to dance. So that's the idea I had. It's just whatever makes you want to hit or just move is the song you should have.
Cracking. Was it about Baby Shark? There's some MLB player Baby Shark.
Yeah, Juan Soto.
With his daughter. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
And final question: if you could have one wish for British baseball, what would it be?
I know it's not as simple as this, but for all the teams to, at least start, working towards playing against everybody playing against each other again. Like when I was young, I remember playing in the finals of the double A finals at Farnham Park with Bolton Robots of Doom versus I think it was one of the London Mets teams, and that was just incredible to have like the northern teams playing the southern teams, and having that sort of everybody playing each other again. That would be awesome. But I know, yeah, it'd be good to work towards that and have, British baseball back to its glory days. Everybody playing everybody.
Excellent. Matthew Moran, thank you very much for your time. And
No
I look forward to seeing you next season.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, mate. Take it easy.
Yeah, you too.
Sarah. Matt's team was in action this weekend with some BBF Open semi-finals that took place on Saturday, and it's the London Mets, and they defeated the Lancashire Legends 10-0, and the Rebeldes taking on the South Coast Pirates, and that game ended 14-4 in favour of the Rebeldes. The London Capitals defeated the Essex Arrows 9-7, and the MK Bucks took home the win, with 12-6 against the Long Eaton Storm. The finals then played on Sunday, which saw the Legends take on the Essex Arrows, and that game ended 15-3 in favour of the Arrows. And Long Eaton Storm faced the South Coast Pirates, with the Storm defeating the Pirates 15-3 too. And to see who would be crowned champions of the NBL, the London Mets faced off against the London Capitals, and then in the Bristol games, the Rebeldes took on the MK Bucks, with the Mets being crowned champions in a 9-1 victory, and over the Capitals, and the Rebeldes took home the crown in a very close 9-7 game against the Bucks. There's a lot of praise coming out of that game too, with Gabor Erdos, the friend of the show and the umpire, who was down there in Bristol for that weekend. And he said he'd like to give a huge shout out to Bristol Baseball Club for hosting. They built a quality field and they maintained it well throughout the whole weekend. Fantastic hosts. And also to Jose Chavez and Holly Island, who were the umpires, allowed them to work a free umpire system that weekend. And he said it was really good. Great to have the rookies on there under his wing, who were superb with the drills and the feedback, and there's some great stuff down there. In the East of England Baseball League, Norwich Warriors took on the Cambridge Lancers in two close games. The Lancers on top in game one, winning 10-8, and the Warriors winning 17-16 in game two. The Cambridge Royals faced the Northampton Centurions, and again, both teams taking home a victory. Game one belonging to the Royals, winning 13-12, and the Centurions winning their game 13-9. The final game in the EBL saw the Essex Redbacks score a double win over the MK Bucks 2, with game one ending 18-6, and a close game two saw the Bucks just missing out 12 runs there to 11. The table, we have the Redbacks on top, followed by Brentwood Stags, the Bucks, followed by Centurions, Cambridge Royals, and then the Lancers and the Warriors, just propping up the league there. Over to the West Midlands Baseball League, there were all four teams in action with some highly competitive and top draw baseball. The Stourbridge Titans, still looking for their first victory, took on the Worcester Sorcerers, and the Wolverhampton Wolves taking on the joint top team in the Telford Giants. Although Telford hit 12 runs past the Sorcerers, the Worcester side were too strong and not 24 runs past the Titans. The Wolves weren't able to score any runs this week as the Giants brought home 10. These results saw both Worcester and Telford tie for top spot, but with Telford having the superior runs scored on a head-to-head basis, they take home the top seed and will face the Stourbridge Titans next Sunday, and the second seed Sorcerers will take on the third seed Wolves. And that's it from me. Don't forget to tidy away your mug and wipe down the crumbs off yourself. And I'll see you next week for another edition of the British Baseball Podcast. Ciao, ciao.